Hey family, so Comic Tom dropped his list late last after JP's budget collecting made what he thought was a reaction video to the top 10, but it was actually the different top 10. So we're going to hit this anyway. We're not going to let Comic Tom get away with this. But there's actually a couple of decent books. Plus, and remember me. Stick around. Welcome back, family. Thanks for joining yet again here at Ohana Comics. So yeah, we're going to be hitting up the Comic Tom top 10 list of hot comics that he released later yesterday while he was at Emerald City Comic Con. And he had a full packed room there, including Jim Mint. So let's everybody welcome, hot damn comic fam and say Jim Minty Fresh and all the fun stuff. And let's get right into this list and see what we think about the investability of the top 10, the hot top 10. Coming in number 10, Frank Miller presents number 1, the 2022 Ash Can. Just came out. This is from Frank Miller Publishing, and stores were surprised with this. They got 5 copies each. Now, you figure the amount of stores in the country, if everyone got 5 copies, that's about 12,000 books. They're supposed to be selling them for $1. Guess what? They're going for 15-ish. I picked up a couple copies for around 13. You still can find a little bit of a bargain. However, after it hits Comic Tom's list, it's going to go up a little bit. Some of these ash cans do hold some value. So my recommendation is, if you can't find it now for the 10, 12, 13, 14 range, I think that's about as high as it's overall going to be for in the long run. Then hold off for a little bit for the hype to die down on this, and then try to see if you can snag it for 8 to 10. I really think that this is a good book, a nice white, a lot of white on this book, and a good book for sending in for signings with Frank Miller. And I think that this book would look great with a Frank Miller signature. Okay, so it's not a bad book. Speaking of a bad book, coming in number 9, Power Man and Iron Fist number 58, the first El Aguila, the Eagle, because somebody saw him sitting in a seat with a bunch of other nondescript characters in the She-Hulk trailer. Average sales $8, and a 9.8 just recently went for $350. No, plus tax, no. Okay? How many characters have we seen in a trailer and they spend enough time on screen just to burp and leave? You can even get real characters. The swordsman from Falcon Winter Soldier actually played a role. And, garbage prices. I mean, as soon as the show is over, it's going to drop like crazy. If this is a comic book that you would like to have, if you were like, oh yeah, I remember reading The Eagle when I was a kid. Okay, fine. Just not right now. But overall, this book, no. The Eagle is not going to be a character in the MCU going forward. They're just pulling out all the obscure characters, the Condiment Man, okay? Number 8, The Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, number 1. It's a Disney ride being made into a movie. Average sales, $8. A lot of $8 sales. Everybody thinks of Pirates of the Caribbean, but they're forgetting, you got Jungle Cruise, and there was another one also that got made. Oh, they're doing Haunted Mansion. They're trying to turn all these rides into big movies, and they don't do well with the exception of the Pirates of the Caribbean. That one, they had a really great storyline, and it wasn't the ride. It was Pirates of the Caribbean, and it had little scenes that you used to see in the movie in the background. Here, they're kind of like trying to turn the rides into it, and I think that that's a mistake, and it's not translating well to the big screen. Also, for some reason, when they said the big train ride, Western, everything else, it just reminded me of the Lone Ranger movie, which spent a lot of time on the train, and boy, with Johnny Depp, and that one flopped. So I don't see this one doing well in a movie theater. I don't see this doing well as an investment book. But for $8, it's not even double the price of the book. If you want to pick one up just because it's a Disney book and have some fun with it, go right ahead. Don't expect this one to shoot up. Number 7, Star Wars number 26. There's a lot of first appearances in this book. Average sales now going for $15. Just came out last week. Second time in 6 months that John at Syndicate Comics has pointed out a book and said, that one's doing well. You should pick up a couple copies. And I called him today, and of course they were sold out. I didn't. You want to know the last time he said you should pick up a few copies? 8 Billion Genies. So I did pick them up that time. I should have picked up a couple copies of this. And I even called him up and said, I should just listen to you and don't be stupid. Because the Syndicate Comics doesn't recommend a book unless it actually is flying off the shelves. So, John, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I should listen to you more often, man. But, so, again, I missed it. $15 average sales. Now, you got the niece-in-law, the nephew-in-law, or of Kira, and I'm thinking, Spaceballs? I am your father's brother's, uncle's, nephew's former roommates. How obscure a character. I mean, if you got a lot of first appearances, and the most notable are like a nephew and a niece of a character that is already a secondary character, does that make those characters tertiary? I don't know. But it does have interest, as John put it, the crotch negative space of Luke on the cover. I missed it. If you can pick it up, I didn't check to see what the actual sales are going for on eBay right now, but I'm not spending $15 on it. I'll just chalk that up to one that just got away. Coming in number 5, New Mutants number 87, Cable's first appearance. $175 for a raw and $780 for a 9.8. Now this is based on, we're wondering if we're going to see Josh Brolin, any kind of information on him being in Deadpool 3, which will be the first official MCU movie that the Deadpool will be in. And will Josh Brolin then be playing 2 different characters in the MCU, Thanos and Cable. I think once that news hits one way or the other, the hype will drop, and I don't see. He's already been on the big screen playing Cable. I don't see them bringing him into Deadpool 3 just because it's under the MCU banner as something that really drives the price of this book. So he's in the news right now. The price has spiked a little bit. After D23, whatever announcement, give it 2 months, this will come down a little bit, especially with the economy the way it is. Secret Wars number 7. They called this a double spec. Really? Okay, so they got the first appearance of the second Spider-Woman, and the first time She-Hulk and Titania actually fought. This is not Thing and the Hulk. This is not Silver Surfer and Thor. This is Titania and She-Hulk. The only reason anybody even knows that they fought is if you're a diehard She-Hulk fan, or you're watching the series right now going, hey, there goes Titania. I got to find out more about this, which means the hype is being generated by the show, so when the show is over, the price goes down. $20 for a raw and $310 for a 9.8. This will be $10 and $150 in 3 months. Well, a month after the series ends. There we go. Sandman Special number 1. First appearance of Destruction. Now they said $8 average sale and $90 for a 9.8. Now I looked on eBay for sold listings, and I did find there's been one 9.8 sale, and I think it was like $89. And there are no other real, I think there's a couple of 9.8s listed, but they're really, really high price buy it nows. No bidding. And what I also find interesting, it is the third ever glow-in-the-dark cover. So, I'd like to see this one slabbed as a 9.8. 9.6s are, I mean, actually I think they're going for about 60, 70. So, if you could find a really nice copy of this and get a 9.8 out of it, especially a glow-in-the-dark book, when Sandman Season 2 comes out, and there will be a Season 2, it was just too good. I'm sorry. When Season 2 comes out, if they involve Destruction, then this book will definitely spike. There's a lot of hype about it right now because of the Sandman series, but seriously, if you can get a 9.8 first appearance of a character in the Sandman universe for $90, I would jump on that if you can find it. But right now, there's just not many listed. Coming in number 2, Web of Spider-Man number 118. First appearance of Ben Reilly as the Scarlet Spider. $100 raw sales at $956 for a 9.8. This is not that old a book, and the reason that this is spiking is because they released a Into the Spider-Verse version of the game Trouble, and the Scarlet Spider is in the background on the cover. So they're like, oh wow, the Scarlet Spider will be in Into the Spider-Verse. Yes, okay. For 5 seconds or for 2 hours? We don't know. Again, once news breaks, and especially when it's listed on, published on the Comic Tom page with 55,000 subscribers, it will spike up books a little bit more. This is not a new spec. A lot of people have always wanted to get Ben Reilly as the Scarlet Spider. Great cover. It's first appearance and on the cover, which is always a great combo. But I think I would wait a little bit until the news dies down a little bit. We'll see how it goes. I've never owned the book. I always keep my eyes open, but there's just too many books to collect. And right now, the way things are, I'm kind of shifting more towards Golden Age and Silver Age. Speaking of which, is a book that I bought anyway. This is the one I listened to, John. 8 Billion Genies, number 1. $30 for raw, and the CGC copies are starting to come back. $189 for a 9.8. Now, CGC's turnaround is really accelerated, and they said that they've done the math, and they estimate that across all variations, that there are approximately 70,000 copies of this book. I don't know how many cover A, cover B, cover C, the Frizzen, I don't know. Which I believe, puts us way higher than Something is Killing the Children. So do not expect it to hit the lofty numbers that Something is Killing the Children hits. Also, this is a limited series. It's either 6 or 8 issues, and then it's going to stop. I imagine that they will expand the universe and continue it going for one way or another. It's just too popular. I mean, even Stray Dogs came out as a 5-part, then they came out with Stray Dogs Dog Days. Something is Killing the Children was a 15-comic arc. They took a little hiatus. They had the House of Slaughter. Now they're back. If there's money to be made, they'll continue making issues. The thing is, as long as the continuing storyline is interesting and it develops more people that are fans of it, okay. I think that once all these books start coming back, you're going to see the 9.8s dropping down to around the 100 to 120 range. I don't think it's going to come under 100 because it's still $30 for a raw. So I wouldn't spend 190 bucks on this though. Even the Mario Brothers one is starting to come down in price. It was up around 500, 600. Now you get 500 for a 9.8, and raws are now coming down to 300, 350. And I think that those will also continue to fall. And there's only 500 of those. So that's my take on the top 10. Now is a Remember Me. If you're new to the channel, you know that I've just told you there are multiple books in this list that if you really want to get this book, wait a little bit, it'll come down in price because we want everybody to forget about this book. Well, everybody includes you and me. So my job is to point out a few books that were on prior top 10 lists that have dropped in price, that either they're good books that you might have wanted to have in your collection and couldn't afford it, or books that have dipped down in price and because the interest is, it's not a hot topic, but it has a chance of going back up again. I've got you 3 this week. And first we're going to start off with Truth, Red, White, and Black. Now this is a 6-part series. Story of Isaiah that was the character from Falcon and Winter Soldier. Great storyline here. There is even a little, I can't even call it an omnibus because it's not that big, but a novel, a hardcover version of all 6 books. 9.8 6 months ago, we're going for $230. Now a frugal shopper for a 9.8 can find it for $130. Now that's almost half the price. If you wanted to get this one in your collection, some of them are still going for up around $200, but you do see some that are dropping a little bit in price. And if you're patient, you can find it for the $125 to $130 range. great book to add to your collection, especially if that character reappears in anything with the Captain America movie or anything else going forward, which maybe not. It's still a great book to have, though, and a great storyline if you can read it. X-Men Adventures #1. Now, remember how they first announced that they were adding 10 more episodes and on Disney Plus, and this book shot up in price. 9.8s were going for $300. Well, now 9.8s are going for $200. I don't believe this was really printed on the best paper, so 9.8s you're not going to find a ton of them. They printed a lot of these books, but I don't think that 9.8s were super plentiful like you would find with like other high printed books. If you wanted to get this in your collection, the X-Men Adventures will go up again when the new episodes drop on Disney Plus, and B, when the X-Men actually hit the MCU. Anything with the word X-Men on the title is going to go up in price, X-Men Adventures included, especially since now this is a little spoiler alert, I apologize, Doctor Strange and a Multiverse of Madness, and in Miss Marvel you even heard they're using the theme from X-Men Adventures, so this is going to be a staple going forward, and that's a really cool book to add to your collection. The next book I really don't think has a lot of investability. However, a lot of people wanted to have this in their collection, but it shot up so quickly in price, it priced itself out of a lot of people's markets. So if you were in the market for War of the Realm, New Agents of Atlas #2, first appearance of Lin Lee, the Swordmaster, who became the new Iron Fist. 9.8 6 months ago were shooting for $400 a piece or more. Okay, now a frugal shopper, you can find 9.8s for $125. So if this is a book, I'm not an Iron Fist fan, but you may be. And if you wanted to have this book in your collection and said, look, I can't drop $400, you might have just put it out of your mind. Right now you look at it and go, well, $125, I would still like to have that one because I'm a big Iron Fist fan. So that's my job, is to try to remind you. Guys, I want to thank you so much for joining yet again. Don't forget to click like and subscribe and smash that notification button, because that's the whole thing also, is not just being part of the channel, but knowing when all this content drops, which I'm going to be making another video tonight with Greg, a reaction video for the special edition of the new episode 11, I guess you'd say, of Sandman, the bonus that they dropped, and announcing a giveaway, that a fan appreciation, a viewer appreciation. So I really hope you watch the Sandman episode 11 or episode 10 plus tax, whatever we call it, reaction video. We're looking forward to making it. Hope you're looking forward to seeing it. But until I see you guys in the next video, mahalo.